What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we have acquired the Sigmar, and I'm still laughing, in the form of the Confederation of Marienburg, which is going to be a great boon to us because it is a major money-making territory, and frankly, Old North Road is looking pretty decent as well. It did put us in conflict with a bunch of factions as the Black Pit tribe declared war on us, and funnily enough, so did the Dark Elves, but I guess by virtue of the fact that we're strength rank 5, they decided that that was not such a good idea and peaced out pretty much immediately, being strength rank 275. Perhaps what actually happened is that they immediately lost an army to Lorelorn, but I suppose it doesn't matter over much, and I guess we're going to wipe them out anyway. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time around, Mr. Gavin von Wolfen and Dolph Hertwigens, as we saw at the very end, at the tail end of the last episode, we're going to attack Torpin, but then we spotted Mr. Kazrak here, ambusher discovered, and I'd wager that he's either close to or possibly even in range of the city north, though I guess we can't attack the Skaven as yet. So we're going to move to city north with both of them, or maybe even actually move you out here to South Bank. I'm a little bit worried about the Skaven just killing this guy off. You know, the AI is fairly opportunistic, and the Skaven, as is appropriate, should be doubly so. So anyway, we'll wait for Kazrak. You know what we could also do? This would save us a little bit of cash, but just in case, we could pop you into ambush here, and maybe Kazrak will attempt to go after City North, and then we will be able to ambush him. I doubt it, but, you know, why not give it a try? Next up, we got the mission to unlock Theodore Bruckner, and I'm sure both Emmanuel and Elspeth will be tremendously jealous, but yeah, we're going to build that livery. We'll start on it right now. It'll get unlocked shortly anyway, so yeah, it's not exactly what I wanted to do here in Altdorf right now, but it's probably not a bad idea to have a stables in the place, as it feels appropriate to pump out eventually Demigryph Knights and stuff. I don't probably need some early game nights as well, but anyway, City Northeast End, we will probably upgrade you, but I think the first thing that we'll want to do is power up Karl a little bit. So, Karl, I'm going to pop you into an camp stance here, then Mr. Albert von Bergenberg, you are going to take, let's see, we can either lose the Free Company or lose the crossbows. Let's take out the pikes, and I mean, I guess technically neither one of these will probably be too useful for us here, would they? You know what, take out the crossbows for now. I'm gonna think about it. I might, well, we'll probably trade this Free Company up for a unit of mortars as well, or some kind of artillery. Frankly, most likely Karl will have a relatively mobile army and not use a sort of bog standard artillery. Most likely we'll just give him 2 steam tanks and that'll serve the artillery purpose for him. For now, though, we will get the Imperial Foot and the Borderman handgunners. Again, Karl is pretty into the idea of the state troops due to his traits and his, well, skills, so we should really take advantage of it. Anyway, Karl, you're gonna go up here. We're gonna be hitting the Black Pit and wiping out the Black Pit tribe shortly, and I guess you're gonna have to encamp and you're gonna follow. Alright, and Adalbert, you were the guy with the artillerist thing? Yeah, you're the artillerist. I'm actually surprised that this is called Marksman Commander, because this is really an artillery commander, or whatever you want to call it. Marksman Commander would feel like it should buff like Hawk's long rifles and Gunderman's Surefires and handgunners and any of those variants. Anyway, we now no longer unfortunately have the money to upgrade those mortars, so it is what it is. Alrighty, other than that, let's see who needs to move. Conrad Billings obviously doesn't, and you're gonna sit here, I guess, sit in camp, whatever. I guess we could put you into Gorcel. Wait, what's the public order here? Hey, you know what? Go into Gorcel. You could go there and encamp and get that mortar going. This will save us a tiny bit of cash, after all. Anyway, let's end the turn. Let's see what Kazrak does. Building upgrade available. Ubersreich. Oh, right. We got to get the Red Moon in, but it was like 4K or something silly. Yeah, 3K, but you can't afford it as yet. We're working on it, though. Definitely working on it. Alright, we got the contact trusted officials thing again, or the prestige thing again, for +1 fealty if all Elector counts. And I think, again, we're gonna take it, at least until Elspeth is maxed out. We need to keep getting fealty with her. And, well, unfortunately, this will delay our Confederation of Karlberg, but it is what it is. We're gonna need to save up like 3.5k prestige at once, essentially. Anyway, let's give this a read. One of your top advisors has suggested a way to increase your political standing within the Empire. Though you do not command all military activities in faraway lands personally, it is possible to have each state's annals updated to attribute past military victories to your own involvement and frame yourself as an inspirational military leader. To achieve this, you must contact your most trusted officials in each state and pull a lot of clandestine political strings. No small feat, but the fruits of such labor could be highly beneficial to you in the long run. Sure. Alright, there we go. Amateur discovered Kazrak. Oh, looks like he moved away from us, and it looks like he took out Schoppendorf. Alright, well, that means... I mean, we'll keep an eye on him. I think we still can't move as much as I'd love to attack these Skaven here. Although, I guess Elspeth will continue working on him, and that's fine, once again, because we will eventually confederate her. I'm really more concerned about the north, because between the Fecundites and the Corsairs and all the Beastmen and all this stuff going on, this place usually has a pretty bad time of it. Anyway, Karl, you're gonna hit up the Black Pit.
Raise your weapons.
And you will besiege it. Let's see if they're willing to fight us. And I'm almost tempted to delete these guys. You know what? Let's delete these two. We can always rebuild them if we need to. I would like Adalbert to leech the XP, but I don't want to have the extra units there to essentially make the AI more afraid of us. Funnily enough, these guys could upgrade. You know what? Maybe we'll switch out the free company in this particular situation for crossbows then. Are you... Oh, you're gonna suffer attrition here? Oh, for the love of... Alright, fine. Just move in. We'll keep the crossbows and take out the pikes. Like so. Alright, you might be able to get that mortar, but you might also not be able to afford it. So, let's find out. Altdorf, you have just upgraded, and we have now access to the Altdorf Conclave of Battle Wizards, which, admittedly, we can get another... We can get another wizard up and running now. Huh, interesting that both these guys are cryomancers. Ooh. Oh wait, no, this is only for you. Just gonna take a quick look at if there's any really interesting traits for these guys. Plus a Tome Leadership Aura. Apt has Apex Magic passive ability and Explosion that applies some debuffs. Scroll of Shielding, Miscast Base Chance Reduction, Potion of Healing. Even more healing on a life wizard, of course. Spirited, we got Sorcerer, which gives you Blast, but I'm still not a fan of magic missiles, and will remain not a fan of magic missiles. And otherwise, nothing too crazy. Just wanted to take a look if there was anything that we really wanted to grab. I actually forgot what you have. Oh yeah, you have Serene. Honestly, the miscast base chance is actually probably pretty solid in the early game. Anyway, did I build the siege constructs? Yes, I did. Alright, good. Or the siege equipment, rather. Alright, Dolf Hertwigens, I guess you're just going to sit here. Though, if Kazrak is far away, you can now sit in the city north to save us a little bit of cash. And everybody else is just going to sit pretty, I guess, for the turn. Alright, let's double check what we can build then. Altdorf. 2.8k and 2.1k. It takes longer to build the Altdorf Conclave of Battle Wizards, so I guess we'll get started on this, and then we'll build the Reikland Stables, Reiksguard Stables rather, next turn. I also wanted to upgrade some stuff here in Tom because it was going to go up to tier 3. Although I guess we're probably better off waiting then, since we won't have the money. Fair enough. Diplo check, and then we can end the turn and hopefully get attacked. Gisaro wants to be friends, but there's a decent likelihood that we actually end up fighting them. Marches of Kuran, we can do... Well, we could do a defensive alliance. They're already in the war with Skull Smashers, so that won't change anything. And it'll give us a vision of what's going on up here with Lewin. I don't mind. Plus it's additional XP, presumably. There we go. A vision to the north ain't too bad. And Stirland is willing to give us... actually, how much money is this? 2.5k for a straight-up military alliance. Frankly, Stirland is very much on the way out, and they're already at war with a bunch of factions. You know what? I like it. We'll take their money. It'll make them poorer, but we need it to fund our own stuff. And Middenland, how much money are you willing to give us? Another 2k, eh? Again, it'll make you weaker, but you're probably going to be our next confederation, mostly because I want Boris. Or do we wait on this one? It'll help a little bit with the snowballing. I'm a little bit worried that he'll get us into a war with the Fekendites a little bit earlier than I'd like, so maybe we could wait. It will give us, or this will give us sufficient cash to upgrade the Reichsland or Reichsguard building immediately. And, oh, you know what we could also do? Build the rally field. You know what? Fine, we'll do it. The way I figure it is, while we don't want the rally field in that particular location, we can build it and then delete it, but the faster we get an Empire Captain on field, the faster we'll be able to move southward and scout out Volkmar. Yes, rally field. Alright, frankly, it would probably be more beneficial to upgrade these buildings, but it is what it is. And we gotta keep upgrading the stables as well. Anyway, other than that, I believe we're good. We're gonna save the little bit of cash that we've got for the next turn. We're gonna skip outpost, etc. And then we're gonna end the turn, see if these guys attack. Go. Alright, beautiful. The Black Pit tribe not too cowardly to sally out. They got Black Orcs, they've got Orc Biggins, and certainly a lot of better stuff than we've been fighting so far, but, well, right on time with the power-up on the second unit of Imperial Foot, and the very powerful Bordermen as well with those grenade launchers of theirs. Range is a bit short at 100, but I'm sure we'll put them to great use. Before we get started, yes, we did reach the engagement threshold, so this episode will be an hour long, or hour adjacent, as I'd like to call it, because it tends to go a little bit over. Hour adjacent usually meaning at least an hour, generally. And if we maintain the threshold, which is 500 likes and 70 comments, the next episode will be the same, and if we do so all the way through Saturday, we'll do a double episode day that day as well. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get to it.
This day, yet our quarry is neither boar nor deer, no. As Sigmar fought, so shall we. We will become part of the legend. By order of the Grand Theogenist, show no mercy!
Alrighty, here we go, and ooh, it looks like the enemy's gonna launch a vindictive glare at us and do pretty decent damage to this unit of spears, taking about, let's say, 40% of the HP they started with, and I think we're going to immediately rotate them out and to the back/reserve of our force. We got a pretty decent position, not the highest elevation of hills, but I think high enough elevation to allow our handgunners to fire on the enemies below and, well, just generally target the important foes. Now, the annoying thing about this particular battle is the fact that the enemy has brought not Black Orc big bosses, not war bosses, but 4 shamans with them, and each one has either Gaze of Mork or Vindictive Glare. Oh, actually, you have the Sneaky Stabbing, but the other guy has Vindictive Glare because we just saw it. So that's 3 magic missiles potentially smacking into our relatively fragile troops. Let's see how they do. We got no spell resistance. Oh man, I got to use the Dwarfen base 40% spell resistance. But oh well, not a big deal, or at least I hope not. We're about to find out. Anyway, the enemy is moving towards us, and our handgunners will begin volleying at, by the looks of it, these squigs. Gonna force them into a rampage fast as we can. Does look like there are some spider riders moving around on the front lines as well, but it's rather pointless to attempt to engage them. Our gold wizard will summon a Gehenna's Golden Hounds on top of 2 enemy units, but primarily seeking to damage the Black Orcs, which drop to about half of their HP, and due to the overcast spell, and admittedly that's pretty darn good. Over on the left flank we do have the enemy unit of Boar Boys, which has been caught by our regular unit of Reichsguard. Unfortunately not the Zintlers, which are anti-large, but all good, as the Reichsguard will pin them in place, and then our Free Company militia will gun them down by firing into their backs, and we'll even move in some spears to help out. A little bit of extra anti-large. Looks like the Black Orcs will finish up with about 40% of their HP, as in the Gehenna's Golden Hounds will end with them at 40% of their HP, but the mortars will continue firing at them. Yes, mortars will do basically no damage to Ooh, nice hit with that Gaze of Mork, I presume. Another 40% damage on our handgunners. As I was saying, yes, the mortars will do no damage whatsoever to the Black Orcs, but what we can see is that the Black Orcs have not reached our line together with the rest of the enemy army. I decided it was more important to keep them back, and especially with those massive armor-piercing great axes of theirs, and the sort of area denial that the mortars do, or just generally speaking that an artillery piece does, allowed us to keep them away. Anyway, we're going to hope to do a little bit more damage with the charge from the Zintler's Reiksguard here. Directly into the remaining Black Orcs. They're going to start hitting back. They've dropped 2 of the Reiksguard already. 4, 5. Ooh, yeah, they're hitting us back reasonably hard. And just gotta wait out the charge bonus, and ooh, I was hoping to shatter them before that WA bonus came in, and that's going to vastly increase the capabilities of those Black Orcs. But what can you do? Getting a little bit of a range shootout going on with the Force Goblin Spider Riders firing at us, and we're going to target them with the grenades from the Bordermen, mostly because we need them to target something right now. And they have very short range. And plus we want to stop those Force Goblin Spider Rider archers from applying poison to everybody as fast as possible. Ooh, hello, we get a Brain Burst coming down on a unit of spears, which basically obliterates the unit. And it was one that was damaged already. And gonna have to back those guys up. Looks like another Spearman unit is just about ready to rout, as well as they're getting torn to shreds by the Orc Biggins. And the armor-piercing damage on them in SFO is fairly significant. So, significantly more than vanilla, I believe. So, yeah, definitely gotta watch out for them. Getting a little bit of more support again from the Free Company Militia firing into them, and the Reiksguard have come in as well. Karl, in the meantime, has peeled away, together with his Reiksguard and the reinforcing General of the Empire, to start going after those darn shamans. Can't be having them continue with all of that spell work. So while the Reiksguard take care of the Orc Error Boys, Karl will hopefully destroy the enemy Great Shaman. And every battle will bring us closer and closer to getting DEATHCLAW on the field and, well, getting that significant power-up for Karl. Speaking of significant power-up, this army has generally gotten a significant power-up just by adding those Borderman grenade launchers to the roster, or to the, well, yeah, sure, to the army, to their ranks. Although, again, the grenade launchers are generally a very dangerous unit, almost as dangerous to your own units if you're not careful as the enemy is. Even though a couple of volleys from them can do wonders, like clear out an Orc Error Boy unit like so, and they can also clear out your own. Otherwise, the bounce power has shifted to about 90% in our favor. I believe the 2 Goblin Shamans have now been defeated by Karl and the General of the Empire in our routing. We still have the Orky Shamans to take care of, and surprisingly, the battle is still going 5 minutes in. Or perhaps unsurprisingly, it's a pretty solid enemy force. The Black Orcs have at last been routed, though they were heavily damaged by the Reiksguard charge. And the Zintlers did take a fair bit of damage for their trouble, losing 17 of their units. So, more power to the Black Orcs there. Otherwise, it looks like with that, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Gonna get a few more volleys off on the enemy Orc Shaman, and otherwise begin chasing the enemy as best we can. There is one other thing to do, however, as one of the Orc Shamans has a trait that gives them Unbreakable. I remember this in my Warband campaign. I don't remember what the name of the trait is, but ooh, nice little point blank Vindictive Glare, doing some damage to the Bordermen. I mean, out of all the targets they could have selected, this was probably a solid one. I do like all the variety in the Bordermen's costuming as well, and then the uniformity of their cloaks. A very, very strong unit, though. 45,000 damage out of this battle. Anyway, gonna whack away at the enemy Shaman in just a little bit more, as the battle is not over until the Shaman goes down. Although, as a matter of fact, it may be more beneficial to actually back the General off, just as we backed off Karl to chase enemies down. Oh, well, never mind. He's gonna come in. But frankly, it's probably faster to just gun the Shaman down, so we're gonna back the General off like so. There we go, and then just shoot the Shaman. Alright, oh, he's gonna get one last gaze of Morcat, but fortunately it was too close to the, too close to us. The best way to use that spell is at its max distance. Like so, and the heal was probably interfering as well. With that, the last unit goes down, the Orc Shaman has fallen, and a decent amount of the enemy will have been caught, but probably not all of them, as we just don't have enough fast-moving units. I'm thinking maybe we get a couple of Pistoliers in this army. Admittedly, technically speaking, the most Karl would buff... of the Elector units, right? He buffs missile and weapon strength, so any unit that can double dip into that will thus get twice as much buffs. So technically speaking, Free Company Militia and the Noble Sons Abroad Pistoliers, and I don't remember if there are any other of the hybrid units, would benefit a lot from it. Certainly something to think about, but anyway. Ooh, alright, there we go. Solid fight, a Pyrrhic victory, and, well, pretty much all of our basic state troops buckled. Our tier 1s, and, I don't remember if Spearmen and Shields are 1 or 2, but anyway. The Swordsmen and the Spears basically all got torn to shreds by the Biggins, which got 90 kills, this one only got 45, but still, 10k and 8k damage, very solid of them. Our Free Company, funnily enough, had 125 damage, 13,000 kills, or 13,000, what the heck am I saying? 13,000 damage, and did pretty darn well. Not as well as the Halberdiers fighting all those boar boys, but better than all the basic Imperial state troops at that. And that's pretty darn good. Alrighty, the handgunners, we can see they have higher damage as gold value and damage dealt compared to their kills because they were helping gun things down, like those darn single entities. And speaking of, with 4 mages to the enemy's name, those vindictive glares and those gazes of Mork were really quite the irritant. They're solid spells at long range and very, very spammable. Good for them. Good for them. Anyway, our elites did well, especially the, of course, Borderman, 45,000 damage and 127 kills. Once again, and as always, impressed by the Black Orcs. They were at like 10% or 15% or whatever, low percent HP, when the Zintler's Reiksguard charged them with full HP, and the Reiksguard still managed to lose like 15 units to them before having to back off. Granted, the Zintlers are anti-large as opposed to anti-infantry, and Black Orcs are armor-piercing, so that shouldn't be too surprising, but nonetheless. Anyway, a lovely fight. We are going to pardon captives because we need all the cash we can get. Although, we are going to need to continue moving and healing. And all of this territory is, it's chaos corrupted as well. It's gonna be a while before we will be able to get a full... Alright, fine. I think we're gonna have to take the heal then. I'm worried about the chaos corruption, essentially. Alright, fine. Praise Sigmar. Alright, Middenland demands city. Karlberg will retain control of Brokkel. They're both at 10 and 10. And we will confederate Karlberg first, so I think we'll allow the expansion again. Sorry, Middenland. Boris is not going to like this, but if we're going to take Karlberg next, we may as well get the extra territory, so we'll allow the expansion. Alrighty, then... Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed... Oh, what the heck? You're suffering a... You gotta be kidding me. We got punted out of the siege, which is a shame. Well, I guess healing was was the right move, yes. We will... Ooh, hello. Whoa. You have reached rank 12. Well, isn't that lovely? And we got Sterling's Revenge, which we could put in place of these Free Company, though I would like another army up and running ASAP. Ready for duty, somebody. And Ulrika. All you have to do is build tall walls. Alright, where is a good place to build tall walls? Probably Ubersreich. It is already a walled city, however, it's kind of acting in the same way as Kessel Songlak is, and I don't see another better place to build it, at least at the current time. Anyway, give us a read. The Empire's enemies, both mortal and otherwise, have long sought to topple what Sigmar built. Foes who step foot upon Imperial soil find themselves vanquished by the fury of their steel and gunpowder soon enough. Nonetheless, the safety of the populace can never be ignored. There have been reports of mutilated bodies appearing across the Sylvanian countryside, a grave threat that serves as a timely reminder that we must secure our homeland. Alrighty, yeah, okay, well, it's not a priority to build those walls. What is a priority is Karl has leveled up to rank 12. So, best of the Empire. Lord Recruit rank +2 faction-wide. One of the reasons we've been waiting on any additional Lord Recruits. Then, I guess I want to power up the Reiksguard and the Imperial Foot as much as possible in this army right now. And the Emperor's Men is nice as well. Ooh, hero capacity and recruit rank for Empire captains, which we are about to probably likely get several of. A moment. Because we need scouts. A year... Oh, wait, you can't recruit them, and you won't be able to until... It's going to take 3 turns. 4 turns? I think Karl can level up a little bit in those 4 turns, so this is what we'll do. We will ignore Majestic Enforcer, we'll take Imperial Special Forces to power up the Reiksguard and the Great Swords. We'll take the Emperor's Men to power up all of the Elector counts. We'll put 1 point in Heroic Knightly Band. And then we'll put the last point in an Emperor's Journey to power up Karl himself, giving him Perfect Vigor, Unbreakable, Expert Charge Defense, and Dauntless Fury. Which is all pretty nice. Plus weapon strength plus 10% for all characters faction-wide. And then next level we'll get Heroic Knightly Band as well. Alright, that was... okay, you also need points. I think... Oh, no, you don't. We're saving points to go through Star Student Immediately Tempered Aura because plus 15 armor is nothing to sneeze at. Alright, now you can auto-resolve this. A little bit of damage, and we will return to Elector. That we will be confederating. Yes. Lovely. Alrighty, Dragonbane Gem, we do not need... They may have changed up the items a little bit, but the Dragonbane Gem is still terrible. Fuse. And we got an Obsidian Amulet now, which is actually fairly solid. A lot better than it was. Obsidian Amulet, okay, yeah. Like Petrab Destroyed, hey, and Helm of Discord, very nice. We need to pop that onto a... Okay, we'll pop it onto you. I don't particularly care for either Scepter of Stability or the Scroll of Lycos, but for now, until you get a better item, I think we'll use that. And Karl is currently using an Obsidian Lodestone. The Barrier is useful on him. I wonder if the Obsidian Amulet would be the better pick or no. Put it on him for now, but we'll possibly swap those around. Anyway, Karl, I'd like you to go into camp stance, and you're going to start traveling towards Bokill. Oh, didn't we get an announcement about Bokill, or was it something else? Oh, it was Brockkill, not Bokill. Alright, fine, fair enough. Kazrak. He's here again. Alrighty, you. Out of the settlement, go into ambush stance again. We'll see if he tries you again. Or tries to get... Well, I mean, there's no again, he didn't try it, but you know what I mean. Do I know what I mean? Anyway, Karl, you've moved to Dolph. You're just waiting until we deal with Kazrak. You're kind of stuck, bud. It is what it is. How are we out here? Ah, good. Okay, so we can now build up the tap room here. I do wish we had the construction reduction, but gotta deal with it. And then we can start collecting the income. The -6 will be completely counteracted, so it'll just be, it'll be neutral, which is fine. Now that we got the extra Lord Recruit rank, let's keep checking on these guys. Try to find one that gives us additional control. Frankly, it would be good to have one in pretty much every army. And just generally, okay, nothing has changed with those guys. And just generally upgrade stuff as we can. You, Tom, are still okay. We have no Confederation debuff, but you're only at -3. Why? I guess the single tap room is not enough. Well, we can't upgrade it any further as yet, though we are working on the +2 control technology, so we'll get there eventually. We will want to upgrade that livery, though. So let's get that. And I guess we should probably start upgrading these as well. Make more money out of them. Alright. I need to fund the rest of what we're doing, and that's going to remain the case for a while, and I believe that's all. We'll save the money that we currently have. We have no upgrades to be made here, because we need 4,000 gold to upgrade Palace Burt. Alright, so we're going to wait to swap out the Council Burgomeisters until we can afford it. Huh. If we were to cancel this, we would have enough, but then we'd have to not collect the income for a turn. Wait, unless we can get some income via diplomacy in some manner. Marches of Quran, we could actually go for a non-aggression pact with Montfort. They don't actually hold territory that we want, technically speaking. It's Gisoro and... I think it's Paravon that we want, although Paravon is going to be super allied with the Wood Elves. Well, you know what, we'll be friends with Montfort for now. They'll give us 1,700 money. Won't say no to it. We'll hold off on Shisoho, though. And the rest of this looks like it's ignorable. Alright. That has given us enough money to start upgrading you. And, okay, we'll need to build the spices and upgrade those, so we'll keep it as it is. Oh, look at that. These guys have a full stack now. Good for them. Alrighty, that all looks good, minus you still needing to follow Karl. Oh, right, I was going to swap the units, which I guess we'll have to do next turn. Fair enough. And then you, we're going to build Karl a mortar, which, again, is now no longer, well, not possible isn't quite the right word, but the money is not there. Anyway, skip, and then turn. Burning Wind Nomads destroyed. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Every Cathan... wow, you retained your full HP after taking Eldogson. Huh. Well, that's not great, and he's got Minotaurs as well. Alright, we're just gonna have to... I'm actually thinking you're just gonna have to stay here. Well, if he moves towards Kuttenholz, then we might be able to take advantage of it. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Anyway, the loss of the trade agreement might mean we can get a new trade agreement. It does not. Okay, well, that's a shame. It's a shame there's not much we can do. What we can do, however, is a diplomatic agreement with the elves here. Which, unfortunately, I do feel like the maker of the mod needs to make this a... I don't know, make it at least 3 settlement, or maybe even into a 4, like a province capital, essentially, rather than one of these tiny little settlements. Yeah, I know it's not a capital, but the problem is it makes this little elf faction super weak. It's not able to utilize the salt, and it can't build anything other than Silver and Garden Shadow Warriors, granted. Well, and also Spears, granted. Silver and Garden Shadow Warriors is definitely, I mean, I was about to say that they're all you need to win the game, but realistically, basic spears and basic archers are all you really need to win the game as elves, because it's a very nasty combo. But anyway, you, Karl. I'd like to move faster, but this place is still corrupted, so we're going to suffer attrition. There's nothing that makes you immune to attrition and heals you more, does it? Well, actually, that's in camp stance, isn't it? Alright, so I guess we're just gonna have to move that way. Take out the Beastman's home base. And, oh wow, you cannot travel as far as Karl can. Did Karl level again? No, he did not. That's just the wizard. Alright, well.
It is for the best.
I guess you can suffer a little bit of attrition. Move ahead of Karl. I wonder if Kazrak will start booking it back towards us. I'm actually very interested to see what he'll do, generally speaking, over the next turn, which we are hurtling towards. Let's build buildings, and let's go to that next turn. You're still... Huh, you're now negative public order. Just a little bit, though. That means we probably can't build a clothier there. What can we do? We could build more tap rooms, but I'm not so sure that that's a good investment or a good use of our limited funds at this point. This will probably be a good territory to fortify, however, at least to some degree. Well, at the very least are now, but, well, Stedham should be safe. Sulfin and Gorsel might not if these guys go past all this place and land here. But they'd probably have to go through a lot of stuff. As in Norskins or Dark Elves or whatnot. Yeah, maybe it's not, maybe we shouldn't bother fortifying it. Alright, we'll wait on building up those. Just keep collecting money and doing what you're doing then. Altdorf, back to you, Kent. We should upgrade the barracks here. We really need the hero, so start on that. Expensive though it may be, and then we'll upgrade the town here as soon as we get enough money to do so. Alright, and then the rest of this I guess we'll have to ignore. At least for now. Ooh. We should actually not ignore you. Let's build that spice market. Maybe that'll enable somebody else to ask us for trade. And we could switch to Council Burgomeisters out, but frankly, we'll be upgrading these towns shortly. And it's pretty critical that we do since it's a major money-making province. Skip buildings and turn. Alright, another one of these. What do we have here? Lose prestige and gain fealty to Hawkland, or lose money. We need to save 3.5k. which is a long way away, in order to confederate Karlberg, which will eventually make us more money. I'm actually inclined to say the money, the prestige is more valuable right now. Anyway, you recently uncovered details of an illicit affair involving Aldebrand Ludenhoff and his former peasant concubine, who is blackmailing him with threats to reveal their past relationship to his entire family, as well as the other Elector counts. Such a seedy discovery would be an immense source of shame for both Aldebrand Ludenhoff and indeed the entire state of Hochland. Using your less than savory connections, you could offer your help to Aldebrand in silencing this harlot, which would certainly go a long way to increasing Hochland's support of you. Pay the peasant. Yeah, we'll save this for the Confederation of Hochland. Pay it. Alright. And Constructor Grievous. Good. A diplomatic... Really? Again? Huh. Game really trying to make a relationship with a Nuln tank. This is like a repeated bad events with them. Kazrak. Where be ye? Huh, he's moved away again, presumably. Well, I guess he's not at war with these guys, so he could be trying to move for Allenhof, but I guess we'll have to keep an eye on him. He's unlikely to be able to take Middenheim, and we should be able to intercept him with Karl shortly. Speaking of Karl, one more turn, and you'll be able to reach Bokel. I was actually pretty happy with the performance of the Free Company in that battle, so I think we're not going to trade it out for the crossbows. We can keep him around in this little army for now. Why not? An extra crossbow unit. Won't say no. Alright, building, and then on the turn, then fighting some beastmen. Reikland Forest, we will want to upgrade these guys, but at the same time, this is probably have to take priority, so... And just keep on building things and making more money. And Altdorf, you are still in Council of Burgomeisters, though you can now switch to Host Festag for about 3 turns, and then we can swap to building stuff here in Marienburg, next turn, for example. And then we can swap that one, the next one out, and we still need to move up north to take our now. Frankly, if this army wasn't needed to defend Altdorf, I'd love to send it down there. Oh, what we also need is to check here. Right now, not check the heroes. We got 2 more turns, and livery is nearly constructed. Defensive and esteemed. I forget what the one that we want is, but it's the one with bonus control. I will still keep taking a look at these guys. Armor. Oh, we got another armor pedigree. All right, we're gonna get Jürgen Wagner in there as well. Those guys are going to be generalistly... I'm pretty sure that's not a word. Ruinous, come on, what are you doing, man? They're just going to be generalists and generally useful. And they're generals. But grandmasters. Anyway, go. Alright, there we go. We gave this a read last time. What's the next part of the Bruckner thing? Oh, game. Alright, electors go to war. The rival states of Karlberg and Averland have been unable to reconcile their differences, and tensions have bubbled over into full-blown war. Elector Count Leopold von Bildhofen of Karlberg has declared war on Averland. What action will you take? Civil war prevented is what we're going to do for obvious reasons. Minus 800 prestige. Yeah, it's going to be a while getting to that 3.5k. Stop the war. Alright, there we go. Let's see what this says. Killed 500 enemies with melee cav or demigriffs. I think we can accomplish that, minus the demigriff thing. The theoretical tacticians at the Imperial Gunnery School may well have developed a new game-changing model for cavalry warfare, but Countess Emanuelle and Bruckner, her champion, remain unconvinced. What they really need to see is the method proved in combat against the Emperor's foes, and as soon as is humanly possible. Only then will they be satisfied that a man of Bruckner's singular talents will be put to best use on the battlefield. Alright, Kazrak. And there he is. Huh. I wonder.
It is good to see fellow.
You're in a defensive line, so are you willing to go military? No, you are not. Darn. Huh, actually. Oh, he's at war with Warhead of the One-Eye. Oh, that's interesting. A moment. Most likely, then, they're going to try to go for Brokel, which is fairly well defended. I would like detail. Is this place... it is corrupted. I wish I knew what the range on Kazrak was. I assume that he's immune to the penalties from traveling through forests. Udenholz has some defenders in it. I'm just... Alright, go to the edge of this territory. Here's the issue. We're going to declare war on Kazrak immediately. And I guess we can ask Karlberg or whoever was willing to pay us the most to give us money for it. The thing is, as soon as we do, he will be wary of this army attacking him, and what we don't want is him to be too afraid to attack Brockel. I don't really care about the loss of the troops in this army, since we're probably going to delete them all as soon as we confederate anyway, and I'd rather Kazrak's army just get damaged so that Dolph can, you know, clean them up. Anyway, let's do this. Plus, that way Karl wouldn't have to go down there, and Karl would like to go up north and attack Mugga Deletion. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that should be a tough fight. Ooh, good. Anyway, you join war against Kazrak will give us 2k. Well, that's not bad. I don't think Karlberg can match that, will it? Join war against Kazrak. Yep, no dice. And I don't remember who else is at war with Kazrak. And yes, I'm absolutely nickel and diming this Nordland. Join war against Warherd of the One Eye. Yep, less. Alright, so what we'll do is this. Nordland, we will go Defensive Alliance, and also give us money. And also give us vision. Like so. And they're fighting these guys, which is good. Then we will go for Middenland, and we will join war against Kazrak for money, which we will use to keep building our economy. Then we will go for... Where are we here? Karl, you're going to attack Bokel. Or actually, yeah, you're going to attack Bokel. I was wondering whether you can go into camp stance afterwards, and it looks like you'll be able to. Just gotta be careful about these guys immediately taking advantage and attacking us. I did not realize that this was so weak. I'm going to auto-resolve this, and we will hope that it isn't too ugly. So we'll do this. Go here. Auto-resolve. Don't screw me on this game. A little bit more damage than I'd like, but there. We return to Karlberg, who just randomly declared war. Then we have to put you in camp stance. And hey, Bruckner is summoned on top of well, okay, that makes sense. What does he do in terms of buffs? So he has Titan, Headsman, melee defense minus 25, and speed. Pretty solid buff. He buffs Demigryphs, right? Or does he just fight good? Oh, no, okay, he does buff Demigryph. He gives terror for Demigryphs. Really? Demigryphs don't naturally cause terror? I don't know, man. I see a Demigryph coming at me. Even without a heavily armored knight with a halberd or a lance, I'm pretty terrified. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the crazy one. Hand of Judgment, yeah, because... Oh, he has Executioner? That's not good. Executioner causes desync. I might not get this. It's unfortunate the loss of the perfect vigor, but I'd rather... I mean, you can't avoid it if you move away as soon as you see the Executioner thing, but... Well, anyway, he's going to ride around with Karl for a while. It's going to be a bit until we have Elspeth, after all. Alrighty, and I guess then... I'm sorry, Free Company. And we need all the melee we can get, so we're gonna... Okay, wait, you're gonna move here. We're gonna move toward Vorburg work. I want to try to set up an ambush here. You are... Are you really not in range of Karl anymore? Alright, fine. Go into this army. You go into this army. And then... okay, just out of range. Alright, fine, next turn, not a big deal. I'll never get to trade those guys anyway. Diplomacy, in case we can get more cash out of somebody. And Laura Lauren wants a military access. Yeah, sure, I'm fine with that. And a defensive alliance. Sure, go for it.
What do you want?
There you go. More vision and somebody to sit in these forests. And besides, certain armies of ours will probably warrant some Wood Elven units. Military alliance will give us either a trade agreement or 2,000 gold. The trade agreement will be 100. The thing is, we can get the trade agreement to somebody else. So let's do this. Yes, they'll probably get us into a war with somebody, but it's fine. We gotta protect the Empire. This is Karl, after all. Alright, that was a decent chunk of change, meaning we can build some stuff. And, okay, one more turn. Good. Yeah, alright, just had to double check that we couldn't get any other heroes. What do we want to upgrade? Tom, you will want to be upgrading stuff, but you are in the wrong commandment. You are waiting for 2 more turns. Marienburg, yes, we will upgrade you. 4,000 gold. Good lord, you're expensive. But again... And this place will pay. It will pay for itself. And then it'll be, I guess, 2 turns until we can upgrade the town here. So we can briefly switch to Host Vestag. Alrighty. You will want to upgrade stuff, but I guess we'll do Reikland Forest next. So you can switch to Council of Burgomeisters and we'll save the money for next turn. I'll have to upgrade these. You know what? They will... Yeah, let's start upgrading them. Alright, that'll be 0 control. So no more upgrades right now. Oh, we will want to build the... Oh, a moment. Never mind. I thought you could build the roads in the minor settlements, but apparently that's not the case. We could do some military stuff here, especially things that will give us capacities, like the Empire Captains. We're gonna need these. Anything with capacities, really. Warrior Priest capacities. The taverns won't generate money. I'm just double checking if there's anything else that generates even a small amount of cash. It's better you don't get like 50 cash out of the inns. You'd think that the inns would, you know, be paying taxes. They, you know, the taxes. It's a thing. Come on. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't look like it, so we'll save the money. Skip. I would like to see whether Kazrak is going to go after Brookgal. Yeah, alright. Alright, and it looks like the orcs decided to sack Brookgal, which is interesting as, well, that's just interesting. And, so Kazrak did attack, and I assume that he sacked Brookgal as well, and really, there was a full stack here, and it died, and he took basically no damage. Damn. Alright, well, it looks like it's one of those situations where we gotta do it ourselves. Start moving this way. I'm a little bit worried about these guys randomly declaring war on us, but hopefully they're busy with everybody else. Hey, the additional control and the Empire Captain capacity, and the hero recruit rank for Empire Captains. Carl, are you leveled? Yes, alright, then we're gonna do this. Heroic Knightly Band gives us an additional... Oh, it's a recruit rank in their own local province, but we still needed the capacity, I guess. Meh. Alrighty, well, yeah, so these guys decided to sack this, which means we're gonna take advantage. You are going to swap in for the Free Company, I guess. Someday our army will be at full HP. Someday. Anyway, you're good now. And then I guess we'll have to move south to hunt down Kazrak after all. Oh well, hopefully not a big deal. Now, East End or wherever, it doesn't really matter. We need an Empire Captain. Will anybody here... Character XP gain, stand your ground... Huh, they don't normally get stand your ground, but it's good to have one of these guys with us. Character experience gain plus 20, assume command, and... Alright, I'm gonna get Bannerman, I guess, for the XP gain. Get you in there. And you, Curtis Wagner, are gonna max out Wound and Specialist. And you are going to be Volkmar Scout. Alright, and I mean, I guess he'll find... Okay, it's a long... Volkmar is here. We're gonna travel through Gelt's territory, find Gelt. Gelt is unlikely to die, but Volkmar is in danger. And we'll go down to them. I guess we'll probably want to get another scout up and running to find the Hunts Marshal. I'm just wondering whether we want to do that right now. Maybe we'll wait a turn or two. Just to save on a little bit of cash. Actually, speaking of cash, we can get a little bit more of it right now, and a little bit more prestige, which we clearly need. Carl, 'tis time to fight these jerks. You are at war with them. Actually, they're also at war with Karlberg. Karlberg, give money.
Only Sigmar's god, Ulrich, can judge
yes, they're probably richer than the other territory, because they're in a safer position. And while we're in Diplo... Oh, Paravon now wants to be friends. Oh, man. You know, I'm gonna say no for now. It's a bit of a situation, because I want the extra outpost units, or the extra unique units, the Elector state troops, but at the same time, attacking Bretonnia feels a little bit wrong. To some degree, Bretonnia and individual lords, Bretonnian lords and Empire lords do clash on occasion. Anyway, let's attack Magadelech. Oh, huh, I thought it was Leech. I've been reading it as Leech this entire time, for ages and ages. Well, that's me. And he's not gonna run. Oh, good for you, little guy, and all your gobs. I guess these guys are a gob faction. They're gonna be a dead faction soon. Go.
Grimhammer!
Alrighty, here we go. Another fight against the Greenskins, though probably a very different feeling one. The really nice thing about the minor factions, or just, I guess, no, it's mostly minor faction. Well, major factions as well against Skarsting. But anyway, what I was saying was that the Greenskins sort of divide themselves against between the Greenskin generalist factions, which are the orc-led ones, which build the orcs and gobos, and then this one, which is a gobo faction, that seems to tend towards building primarily gobos, and which I gotta appreciate because it feels really different fighting their armies. Now, the main thing that we gotta watch out for here is, well, A, the enemy archers, but B, the 2 units of pump wagons, the chariots, the wolf riders, basically the stuff that can get around and annoy us. That said, we can at least wipe out a few of those archers, both the regular night goblins and the fanatic, well, I don't know what, archers. As many archers as have gone immediately, the better. And the Gehenna's Golden Hounds rip them to shreds fairly quickly. Karl, in the meantime, is going after the enemy lord, though he is on a Pegasus, and it's one of those issues where it's one of those very, very fast-moving units, and it's kind of a problem to try to attack a smaller target like this. Probably should have force-landed Karl. It might made it a little bit easier for him, but he'll continue after them. Anyway, I'm going to drop a Searing Doom down upon some more enemy range units. Looks like the melee will move past, but the archers will at least get hit. In the meantime, there we go. The Bordermen launch their grenades at a big old blob of goblins, and the gobos get pretty much obliterated immediately. Theodore Bruckner is also going to get his debut battle here. Looking pretty fantastic. That is a magnificent beard, you have to admit. And he's going to go after the swordsman, debuffing him with Titan Headsman and reducing his speed by 50% and his melee defense by 25. So I'd wager the latter has no chance. A couple more grenade launches away into the gobos, but otherwise gobos begin to charge at the Imperial Foot, which should be able to hold them off without too much trouble. And that said, we do only have the 2 units of Imperial Foot for now, and somebody did suggest last episode that we use the Allegiance thing to reset them and immediately get a third, but I'm not entirely sure that I would want to do that. A, because of the cost, but B, because the Allegiance cost as well. It is fairly significant, though on the other hand, getting another unit of Bordermen on field would be really good, and not even necessarily in this army, but in our Master Engineer army. I'll consider it, but I still think that we should save up the 3.5k prestige to get the Confederation with Karoberg going. We need more territories just to generate more cash. Ooh, looks like we've got some units of Goblin Wolf Raiders who have appeared on our right flank and are trying to pincushion the Imperial Foot, although that one, I think, is not going to go so well. The enemy's reinforcements have arrived, and Karl has, I believe, defeated the enemy lord and is now going after the Night Goblin Shaman, who is attempting to hide from him in the midst of this little Gabo formation, currently being lit up by the glow of Galmaraz. I guess we gotta enjoy Karl on his Pegasus for as long as we can, which is not going to be very long at all, simply because we should get DEATHCLAW very quickly after the Pegasus. I mean, Karl's already getting up there in levels. I mean, not close to, you know, obviously final level, but what is he, 15? Whatever. There we go. Just keep whacking away, my friend. The battle will soon be ours, I'd wager. The bounce power is at about 85% in our favor. Bruckner leads some swordsmen into the fray against some enemy wolf chariots and gobos, but, well, I don't see the gobos carrying the day here, outnumbering us or not. That said, a few of our spearmen units have taken a fair bit of damage, probably at least a little bit of a friendly fire from the Bordermen, but it's a necessity. Wolf Riders have also done a surprisingly good job fighting our basic spears, and stat-wise they actually are pretty decent. Again, the problem right now is that we're using the basic line troops, but Karl doesn't have Emperor's Finest, the 3 points in the red line, that would buff them up a fairly decent bit. And because he's not going to be most likely using basic Imperial troops, I will still maybe consider adding a couple of Eldred's Guard into his army, but it isn't super necessary. It depends really on if we're going to, well, the degree to which we want different Elector count state troops, or Elector troops in Karl's army, and the types. He might be a little bit point hungry, and I'm a little bit wary of wasting any points on Emperor's Finest in the early game, just in case we don't have enough points to get the things that we want in his army. I will think about it. Anyway, with that, the battle comes to a close as the Gobos are out at last. There are a few remaining at full HP, but it feels lawfully appropriate for them to shatter. There we go, and we'll give chase to them with everything we've got, including some magics. Alright, there we go. We did pretty darn well that time around, with of course 551 kills on those bordermen. Gotta love grenades. And while we don't have the Outrider variant as yet, we can always pop them into a few armies, and we definitely will, to power those up in a similar manner. Anyway, heavy damage on some of these spears, but that's pretty much every battle at this point. And, ooh, I'd love to heal, but I can't say no to nearly 2,000 gold. That's way too much. Alrighty, now, please tell me you're gonna go. Ah, damn, I was hoping that he'd go near the settlement and then we'd just be able to chase him down and kill him, but alas. Magic item drop chance, valet. Are we able to get valets on lords? I'm pretty sure that we can. Light college acolyte, we could put that on a hero instead. And also, Bruckner, oh, he gets +1 control to all provinces. That's real nice, I didn't even see that. Hero charge into the army, eh? Huh. Interesting. Oh, right, Karl, you're supposed to get that Razor's Standard. And casualties captured. Campaign line of sight I don't dislike. Oh, you don't need militiamen. Let's get the valet instead of that. I'm pretty sure valets have to go on lords. Not 100%, but pretty sure. Anyway, you can have a light college acolyte. There we go. Together with your hedge wizard, the, let's see, hunters, ambush success chance for all units in army. Huh. Wait a moment. Okay, wait. Oh, did I forget to select a tech last turn, or was that this turn? Ooh, we got Sigmar's Sons. Man, things are happening. Alrighty, Outrider, that's great. Okay, we gotta figure this out. We did get Imperial University, though it'll still take 1 billion turns to get to Manorialism, which is great, but, you know, take too long. Nice as it may be. The next thing then, while I do like the campaign movement range, reload time reduction, small arms production is pretty solid. I'm really tempted by state-issued weapons because these guys take a lot of damage, but 13 turns, it's pretty iffy. I'm gonna say we'll start through mass-produced small ammo, and then we'll go through state troops and stuff after. And nothing else is as critical, I think, here. Construction, it's construction time for wizard recruitment buildings, not cost, so it's not as relevant. An assembly line we will want fairly soon, but we don't really have enough of the clothiers to take a lot of benefit from it right now. Maybe we'll even pop it in after this. We shall see. Anyway, Kazrak is still where he was last time we checked. Anyway. Alrighty, so... Oh, we can't get Sigmar's Sons. We need to be in our own territory. That's a little bit annoying. You should be able to do so in friendly territory, not necessarily our own. And we're going to be just giving these guys their territory, although I suppose we could take one and then transfer to them for money. There is another, there was an argument to be made for doing that. It's not like we care about how rich Nordland is. Don't think about it. For now, though, you guys need to chase this guy down. And you're going to go here, and then you are going to go here. And then you guys are going to auto-resolve, which will presumably damage us. But hopefully not too bad. Probably should have popped that Razor Standard on somebody. We can heal a fair bit, though, and while I'd like the 800 money, I think we need the healing here. So we'll do that. Then, over 2k now, good. We're going to drop by another 1k shortly, I'm sure. You cannot reach these guys. What I would like you to do is this. You, Karl, are going to lose... I guess I'll lose the Outrider. I'm not losing the Ferryman because of the campaign movement range. Lose the Outrider, and then take the ancillary that gives you... I forgot what the name of the ancillary was. Oh, Warrior Priest Engineer. Oh, I guess it does work for heroes, because lords can't use it. Well then, I did not need to do what I just did. Keep the Outrider. We'll pop it on to the Wizard then. Hunter. Alright, then, for one turn, Karl, you're gonna go into ambush stance. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll give it a shot. It's 90% in the forest for obvious reasons. Alright, we're gonna go here.
Make haste, men.
90, and then you're gonna stay right there, in camp, and we'll hope these guys attempt to attack you and then get killed by Karl. Like so. Whether it'll work, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. We could then take you to grab the Sigmar's Sons, which are horrifically expensive. Maybe just occupy Vorbeck rather than immediately trade it to these guys then. Trade it to them, and then we won't have to waste our time doing that. Alright, you know what? Then I think in that light, assuming that... Let's see, esteemed and defensive. Alright. I think you're not going to bother building us a mortar right now. Karl has enough units to be getting on with it. We could always just get him the cannons, the Regiment of Renown, if we need to bring walls down. Anyway, we get a little bit of money to spend, and we shall spend it. Kazrak's still, of course, running around, and we'll need to deal with him. And yes, I know I said we'd be going south, but we had to take the opportunity to kill these guys. And Kazrak's still relatively close, so we shall see. Decent likelihood he attempts to take Brockhill as well, and probably succeeds at taking Brockhill, but it is what it is. Anyway, Tom... I would love to upgrade the tavern, but good lord is it expensive. Let's start with the town, and... Well, you know what? We'll actually probably need to upgrade this. Oh, wow, it's only a +2. Huh. It will unlock the Witch Hunters, though. We could be able to get another one. Maybe use a Witch Hunter as a scout, then. South Bank is actually going to lose its taproom in favor of the Imperial Palace, so that's not going to be necessary by comparison. Axbite Pass, oh, you know what, let's switch you to Council Burgomeisters. We actually will want to upgrade it because we have an unusual location here, and thus I'd rather not lose it. Fort Solace, and we can upgrade you next turn. So let's go to Council of Burgomeisters, hope I'm not going to forget, and then Ubersreich, while we don't have Dukelberg. We take one of these territories, we could trade it to them for Dukelberg to complete it, but I still think we want to get the Red Moon in case it gets attacked. And then most likely the walls into the other walls. Alright, and I believe that's all the money that we're going to spend this turn. Very tempted by this stuff, though. It is expensive. And this Lanashi corruption is going to keep rising. You know what? I'd just build the tavern, just build it. You're gonna need it, and thus stay in Council of Burgomeisters for at least another couple of turns. Also, how close are we? Okay, 3 turns. Okay, so we don't need to switch right now, so you're good. Skip. Let's see if this ambush works out, and then take Vorbeck. It looks like it was indeed foiled, and on top of being foiled, this guy moved away from the place, which is a shame. I was hoping that we could... How long until the rebellion here? A little bit. He's taken Delbers now, but we need to deal with this.
I am Prince and Emperor.
We are fairly damaged, and the trolls are going to cause a fairly big issue, and now they got more mages as well.
I am Franz.
And we could try the ambush again. Decent likelihood that this guy tries to go after us. We're not healing the... Oh, wait a moment. Go here.
As is my right by Sigmar's crown. Pick up the pace.
Why are you no longer suffering attrition here? You are in Chaos Corrupted territory. Does something make us... Are you immune to attrition right now? Well, you can heal a little bit. Alright, I'm willing to wait the turn to allow them to attempt to heal. It's a little bit annoying, but maybe that way the... Oh! And the Nemesis Crown is here. Oh. I wonder if Kazrak goes for it. Alright, well that's interesting. We'll give that a read before going towards it. I guess we are heading south after all. We should at least cripple this faction by taking Vorbeck then. Maybe even immediately trading it to these guys. If they could take Past of Stone, they'll be able to deal with the entire thing. And you, Dolph... have to keep moving northward. Near to Bokel. We'll see how Kazrak deals with this. Man, there's a lot of chaos corruption as well. Our allies will most likely be faring poorly against all the inevitable rebellions. But that's just the nature of the game. Anyway, you are going to upgrade the town, and I'd love to upgrade this at Tom, but let's see if there's anything else critical. Yes, Volkmar Scout. You can sail down the river. Actually, don't know whether that would actually be faster than going down. No, whatever. Also, Slaanesh giggle, but anyway. Altdorf, yes to the Imperial Harbor. And that's all we can afford, I assume. Indeed it is. Alrighty, well, Marienburg, you don't need to switch commandments yet this turn. You are fine as you are. Eilhart is fine as it is, and we were going to upgrade Helmgard, but I guess we're going to have to wait on that as well. Tumbledowns, you are now, no, not able to collect income. And Ubersreich, you, it's not worth it to try to collect income, to be fair. Alrighty, I guess that's another end turn. Let's hope that this time the ambush works out, and if it doesn't, we're just going to go. Oh, also, you leveled up. Majestic Enforcer, growth, local province. Probably not super relevant. I think maybe then we can start moving you through Honest Steel or Speed of Horse. I mean, Karl should have Reichsguard. And it does buff the Imperial Foot. It's a terrible, terrible 3 points for 10 speed and 9 charge bonus, but it's still probably needed. Go for it. Honestly, I'm you know what? Screw it, go for Majestic Enforcer. Yeah, we're not using it, but in the rare situations where we're in our own territory for a couple of turns, it's still probably the better pick. We will also double-check Lords, just in case. Nope, I want another Control Lord, and what do we have here? Another Bannerman! Alright, well, you know what? Let's get you on field, then. You... Tempted by the drill sergeant. Also, I just want to double-check another thing. You guys... in the current version of SFO, so you give armor when defending, you guys do give We Are the Elite, which is great for basic units, and then if we use Tend the War Horses, we can get you a Demigryph mount versus For the Cause, which is armor and upkeep for infantry. So between For the Cause and We Are the Elite, that's a bonus 10 armor for infantry alone. I guess we will need to get Karl, one of you guys. And you can summon the Officer Squad, but from what I recall playing last time, they were not the crazy, they were not, I mean, you can send them to block enemies and stuff. Makes the Empire Captain a little bit more worth it, generally speaking. But anyway, you can go Wound, you can go Specialist, and you can become a... Wolfheart Scout. Alright, and then you can move this way. Yeah, you know what? Let's then just build the guy for Karl. Might as well just send him northward. Ah, well, we can't. Watch the Drill Sergeant disappear. Oh, also, you guys started with a horse, did you not? You did not. Wait, no, you're the wrong guy. Actually, I wonder if that makes the hero travel further. So you can go all the way here, if it's reflected on the map in any way. Doesn't seem to be. Alright, lose the horse, be a little bit cheaper. And then we'll do the same thing with the other guy. Volkmar Scout. You are going to lose the horse, 232, down to 155. Beautiful. Alright, that's 0. How'd that happen? Oh, whatever. Diplomacy. Gisero and Paravon still want to be friends. And Carrick Norn will do the non-aggression. Oh, we will not, because we can't give them, like, the 1 gold that we need to give them. That's amazing. Solland, we can do this. 615 money. Then we can go for a military alliance with Karlberg. Thank you. Then we can go for the non-aggression pact with Carrick Norn. There we go. And then we can build another captain for Karl. Buff up those basic troops a little bit. There may be better ones than Drill Sergeant, but this is the one we'll do now. And yes, we can get them at rank, we could get him at rank 9, but I feel that there isn't a need to do so. As in, we'd have to move Karl down here, and I don't want to do that. Let's build the Weaving House. Yes, we need military structures here in Altdorf, but at the current time, we need money more than we need that. So, skip, 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 skip one more time, one more try with the ambush, and then screw it, just go. Alright, looks like that didn't work again, and we're... Oh, where the... Now Kazrak is here! Damn it. Alright, Karl. Oh, you can't reach him. Which means he'll probably go for bow kill. Oh, man, this is an odd situation. Because we could grab Vorbergwerk, and then... We could attempt to ambush Kazrak, although that seems unlikely. I don't remember. Do Beastmen have a ambush stance similar to Skaven where they just attack you? We really need to take him out. You know what? Frankly, Kazrak is going to be much more critical than this, so what we'll do is... You know, he's still moving towards us knowing that Karl is here. I'm going to say... Stay near Bokel. Let's see if he attempts to go for us. I'm moving towards him. But I think you might need to move away. I'm worried that he'll just ambush you and kill you. Although, at the same time, I don't really care about risking you that much, to be perfectly honest. Let's put you here. Let's see what happens. I have no idea. Alright, well, I guess we're about to find out. You go there, and then at the same time, Dolph, you are going to push up this way and move towards Delbert's and hopefully knock that out if Karl is unable to do so. Oh, we got a rogue army here, too? Oh, well, it rains, it pours. You can go down there. Yeah, I should have gone by land rather than by river. Oh, well, not a big deal. You are definitely going by river, though. Or are you? Yeah, no, it's about the same. At least... Wait, is this the wrong guy? There were two. Yeah, okay, this is the wrong guy. You're going this way. You're going this way. That's why I named you Wolfheart Scout and then promptly, immediately forgot that I had. Gavin, just stay here, man. You're needed for the public order. Alrighty, and then quick building, and then onward and upward. Let's go for the clothing. Oh, actually, before we build any of those, we'll switch you to Council of Burgomeisters. We will go for... Thomas still in Burgomeister, so it could go for the Tailor's Guild, though it is hilariously expensive. North Road. Ah, okay, so this place... We should probably upgrade the main settlement, assuming that we don't need to upgrade anything here. Now we're okay. For a couple more turns. Actually, you can switch to Burgomeisters now. You can be upgraded. Alright, at least every turn past like this is better for our economy, which means, you know, faster, new and interesting troops. Skip building upgrades. Man... I just realized an issue. I don't remember if Kazrak's defeat trait is good, but if he attacks Adelbert, then... then we won't be able to get his defeat trait. Well, actually, assuming that... Well, as long as Kazrak survives, he's not unbreakable. No, then we'll be fine, then we should be able to kill him twice. I hope. I guess we're about to find out. Skip and end turn. Ah, damn, he does have that thing, which is a shame, but this was exactly the thing I was worried about, but at the same time, like I said, I don't really care about the sword, so we'll manually fight this super quick. Obviously, we're not actually fighting it, just gonna try to back him off, and see if we can escape. Can't retreat, after all. But we should be able to retreat off the battle map. Well, minus the poor free company and the crossbows. Hopefully, after that, immediately Kazrak will go for Karl. He could also be too afraid to do so, but he should now be close enough for us to simply chase him down. Be a bit of an unfortunate loss of Adelbert, but at the same time, we can get another one at the exact same rank because of the bonuses Karl gets for the ranks. So, sorry, man. Just the way it happens sometimes. I do like your greatsword. We should get a... I was about to say we should get one of these guys to lead a Stubborn Bulls army, but I guess we'd still want a Grandmaster for that particular purpose. Oh, right, I wanted to get that, another of the Armored Grandmasters up and running. I guess that'd be a better choice for following Karl around and leeching that XP anyway. You run. Where's the escape route? Alright, you guys go. And speed up to max, and... I actually think that they can't escape while they're being attacked in melee. Oh, wow, you can actually get trapped by dogs? That's a shame. There we go. I don't know if that counts as escaping or whether he immediately gets destroyed, which might be the case, because he's shattered with 70% of his HP. Neat that Kazrak was also able to ambush him while in camp stance, which is a minus, like... Is it minus 50% chance to get ambushed? I guess we'll see. Well, Karl's backline is probably about to have a bad day if Kazrak actually dares to go for him. Funnily enough, Kazrak, in my previous Karl campaign, that was a long time ago now, was probably the one that came closest to wiping Karl out in the early game, though that happened because Karl was in an ambush stance at the time. And getting attacked in ambush stance in SFO is very, very dangerous. Also got to remember that these are not basic doggos. Karl buffs them up by a fairly big margin. And you gotta be kidding me. He went into Beastman encampment and disappeared right here? What a little jerk. Oh, Beastman. Yep, and Karl was pushed out of encamp stance. Why the heck would Karl be pushed out of encamp stance? I guess Karl was a Wait, was Karl a reinforcing army there? The heck? That was weird. Alrighty, Reikland demands a city from Wissenland and Null. Now, unfortunately, we can't let that happen because we need the fealty of Null more than we need the fealty of Reikland right now, so we're going to allow the expansion. Alright, Confederation, the NS and Kuhan, enemy killed in battle, and then unfortunately Heidelbert von Bugenberg died because he got killed by these rebels, which took bow kill, which is kind of funny, and that it was him rather than Kazrak. I do still find it quite irritating that Karl got punted out of a camp stance, which would have definitely healed him up a fairly considerable amount, but it is what it is. We'll just deal. I don't think we have any rank 7s, just the 1, so we can't really take advantage of this. You're actually maybe going to go into training first. Well, no, you know what? Start with Blade Master. You're probably going to have to deal with Kazrak. And there's some good stuff here, but we can start saving points at rank 7 or something. Anyway, let's do training. You are rank 12 now, so Star Student, Battle Hardened, which gives us armor and speed. Gold Scholar, wins a magic cost and power capacity. This also gives us... not things we care about. Tempered Aura for that armor. That's the thing that we wanted, the main thing that we wanted. And then I guess we could get you evasion in case we get attacked. Alright, let's see if we can't trip up Kazrak, force him to attack us here. There we go. Alrighty, we got the ambush, we forced it, and we're going to take damage doing so, but, well, while the mortars are probably going to have a very bad day, we don't really care about them that much. As long as we protect the bordermen, we should be okay. Go. Alrighty, the Empire may endure, but, well, we're about to find out whether your army can endure as well. Huh, I also noticed that the enemy hit us with a Spirit Leech before any of their units could move. That was a little bit strange, but interesting nonetheless. Anyway. And the main thing to note is this. Well, the two main things to notice is, first of all, the enemy has Beastmen Warhounds that are powered up by Kazrak. Melee attack 53, melee defense 30. They're pretty nasty, and I'm pretty sure they can also... that was a hex, but anyway, they can also be buffed even further by Kazrak, who himself is at level 15. Okay, we're at 14. Anyway, the other main thing is this. The Bordermen. We cannot afford to lose this unit. Any unit in this army is disposable, except the Bordermen. To a lesser degree, I guess the Imperial Foot as well would ideally be kept alive because we have a limited number of these state troops available to us, but really got to protect the Bordermen. And the way that we're doing this is at the back of the column. We're allowing our mortars to fall, but we've concentrated the Zintler's Reichsguard and all three of our horse elements, essentially, cavalry elements, right on top of the Bordermen. This is preventing the high damage dealing units of Beastmen Warhounds, powered up by Kazrak as they are, from surrounding and killing too many of the Bordermen. Though they are slowly but surely going to thus bring down our cavalry, and there isn't too much that we can do about it. Karl, in the meantime, has found Kazrak and has already nearly beaten him to death as he is on that chariot of his, and that makes him an easy target. Down Kazrak goes, but it is an ambush battle. Even when we're on the ones on the defensive, that means it'll be a generally quick fight, win or lose. And right now it remains relatively even, though the bounce power is in our favor. Our Wardens of the West are out. Our mortars are out. I believe both of our handgunners have suffered severe damage, and our melee troops are starting to suffer severely as well. Theodore Bruckner has in the meantime been left behind, together with the sort of at the front of the column with the Imperial Foot, and is facing down the enemy Minotaurs with his high damage dealing. In fact, with his base attacks, until we have Galmaraz, I do believe Bruckner actually hits harder than Karl does. But obviously he has no mobility, so there is no point in repositioning him until he levels up enough to get Reaper his Demigryph mount. But somebody needed to anchor the line anyway and deal with all of these Minotaurs, which is the biggest threat on the field. Well, the Hounds are also extremely threatening here. But anyway, the front of the column is actually doing fairly well at this time. The rear of the column, unsurprisingly, doing much worse. The fragile units of Halberdiers and, well, all of our range units have basically collapsed. But that shouldn't be surprising, but we continue hiding the Bordermen away from the enemy's jaws or maws, and they remain alive at the current time. We've moved our Gold Wizard in to help out, providing that little bit of extra help with that Helm of Discord. And of course, that armor aura, but only active when he's out of melee, right? It's when he's out of melee, not when the troops are out of melee. I believe. I hope so, anyway. Well, I guess we'll find out when he's on a Pegasus. Anyway. Yeah, it doesn't say affects troops when out of melee, right? It says is active when out of melee. Yeah, it's enabled if out of melee. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so he just needs his flying mount and hovering over the rest of the troops. Otherwise, it would be a pretty pointless aura, or not nearly as good. Yes, fight for your right to live and not get ambushed by Kazrak. Kazrak has done pretty well here. The balance of power has shifted to about 80% in our favor. However, the Bestigors are still in the fight, together with the Ungors, Gors, an enemy Bray Shaman of Death, and a few more Warhounds. And it'll be a close fight, but it looks like we should be able to carry the day here. This is heavy damage to the Zintlers, Reiksguard, some of our spears, and, well, frankly, pretty much our entire army at this point. With the exception of Karl, but the enemy would have had a difficult time dealing with him, generally speaking. Investigors and their armor-piercing great axes, I'm sure, were responsible for a fair bit of damage to our Reiksguard. But at the same time, we weren't able to use the Reiksguard to run them around like we normally would, charging the enemy, making use of them as, well, shock cav, rather than what they're currently being used as here. But on the bright side, they have allowed the Bordermen to survive. Now it's time for us to essentially blob up and try to prevent any additional units from getting too badly damaged or outright dying. And that we can do by distributing our damage. That said, by blobbing up like this, that makes it nice for the enemy to hit us with a Soul Blight, causing everybody to, well, pretty much our entire remaining army, which doesn't look like much now that our numbers have been so heavily reduced. But the debuffs in the leadership will look like they're not going to be enough. We're going to counteract them a little bit, or did counteract them a little bit with Karl's buff, while Karl peels away and goes after the enemy Bray Shaman. Frankly, while I did use him to bolster the line and hold back the Bestigors a little bit, I probably should have sent him after the Shaman to kill it, rather than allow it to cast that Soul Blight. All good, though. It looks like we survived. We just barely managed to survive. That really could have gone anybody's way. We can see several of our units routing and basically destroyed. Our Reiksguard severely damaged, and everybody else, pretty much nobody is above 50% HP, with the exception of the Imperial Foot and Karl, our tankiest units. Alright, there we go, a really nice fight, and I guess in some ways history does repeat itself as Kazrak again comes close to wiping Karl's army out. Perhaps not Karl himself, who after all that fighting, despite not having a heal, is pretty much fine, and so are his Imperial Foot, but everybody else was nearly completely obliterated. Again, the stats on those Warhounds when under Kazrak are pretty insane, since they're his signature unit, and they were able to dish out massive amounts of damage. We spent pretty much the entire battle protecting the Bordermen, as that's the one unit in the blob that I'm completely unwilling to lose, as in Every single unit in here can die, but not the bordermen because they're so dang good. We gotta keep them. But it looks like we just managed to pull it off. We will have to wipe this army out again, so I think we've no choice but to heal up. And good job to Karl for defeating Kazrak in a duel. He probably jumped the gun a little bit by heading directly into the center of our formation, but still managed to rack up 81 kills and 10,000 damage before he died. So that's pretty good. The Reiksguard were also heavily damaged, but that by virtue of the fact and by nature of the fact that they were forced to fight essentially in melee and not act like Cav. Or Shock Cav at the very least. Anyway, Ambusher discovered, and Beast Scourge gives us ambush defense chance, funnily enough. Campaign line of sight faction went out. It's not a great defeat trait, but we had to, you know, it was a very much a priority thing to need to kill Kazrak off. So, you are going to go after him now. And I'm a little bit... Oh, it'll kill off the Wardens of the West. Alright, I guess we can fight him again. Do we need to make this a cinematic? It's such a small army. On the other hand, we're so badly damaged that they might still give us something of a fight. Why not?
The Empire endures! They cannot take our fate!
Alrighty, here we go. Just a little fight now. The remnants of the enemy army, and I guess the remnants to a degree of ours. We're just going to take a page out of Thorgrim's book and do a good old-fashioned box formation. Since the enemy has all those warhounds and this isn't an ambush, we have the ability to actually prevent our units from being charged. Though I imagine we won't have to essentially cover the bordermen and cavalry this time to protect them. Somebody in the previous episode also suggested that there is a sort of upgrade or a sub-mod for the Warband upgrade mod that allows you to get Elector state troop upgrades for some units, probably not all, but makes that available. And to be able to get more of them on the field. And to that I say I will think about it. I might add that it depends. I mean, we'll see how it's going once we're in need of numbers of these guys, mostly because I think that we can make some really interesting army compositions with some of them, so I might want to increase the numbers if it's taking too long. But that is if it's taking too long. We'll see. I also wouldn't want to overuse the units at the same time, but at the same time, the fact is, it's going to take us a fairly long time to actually confederate all the Imperial territories. It might be nice to get more uses out of the state troops. But again, I'll think about it. Anyway, the Beastmen will be thinking of nothing whatsoever because their army is pretty much destroyed. They attempted to breach the box but failed to do so. Karl countered the enemy Minotaurs and the enemy Razorgore chariots fairly easily. Although the Razorgore chariots still managed to rack up 5.5k damage. They are not to be underestimated. A very solid chariot unit with bleed. Basically any chariot unit that has any kind of damage over time effect on them, bleed or serrated blade storm from Slaanesh, is going to be really, really nice. Anyway, and I guess Razorgores are just quite very nice in Beastmen. Actually, just generally speaking, Beastmen are pretty overpowered against the AI, and especially in the early game. And especially with their blitz tactics that the AI can't really deal too well with. Anyway, decisive victory for us. Another little fight, and I do believe Kazrak's strength is spent, and we will not be seeing him again, though we will still have to hunt down Malagor. Alright, very, very good. Solid work. Still a nice little bit of fighting, even with Kazrak and the rest of the, the rest of what made up his army gone. We are, well, the healing is very little. But we're going to have to take on, you know what, even with the little amount of healing, I think we have to take it. Yeah, the thing is, not only do we have the rebels here, but the orcs are rebuilding as well, so yeah. Plus, Karl won't heal this turn, though he can at least channel a little bit of extra magic, and oh! That gave him That gave him DEATHCLAW? Y'all are screwed now. That's nice. That's real nice. And I think we'll, you know what, let's start moving through Speed of Horse then. Still a needed buff. And we got a Forbidden Rod, and the Silver Bullets, and the White Wolves. Alright, well, getting Regiments of Renown, we just need to be able to afford them, and I'd like to get our income up to 10k to start our econ flowing. You need to get to rank 11 to get Reaper. Let's also get training, because the troops in here need it, and... We could actually keep him in this army and give him the Royal Altdorf Griffites and have him lead them into the fight with a few Reichsguard, but I don't know, I'll think about it. Just kind of use Bruckner as a replacement for Kurt Helborg since he's not in the game. But anyway, you will... See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, just start saving points then, whatever. All good. And Karl, you don't need to, and Wizard, you... What are we gonna go through now? You know, let's at least get you the miscast. He is still miscasting, so we'll still need that, and then otherwise Karl can sit pretty. We got another little Chaos Rebellion here, but it looks like they'll fail at least. And you can move immediately towards Delberts, which I think you cannot reach immediately, but next turn you will, and then wipe it out, and then Kazrak will be gone for good, especially since this is a minor settlement. I guess it was a good idea to keep Dolf down here after all. And let's get everybody else moving. Philip, Wolfheart Scout, and then Volkmar Scout. Though perhaps I should have... Well, no, I was about to say maybe I should have named you Gelt Scout, but you'll reach Gelt on the way to Volkmar. Anyway, let's get the second Imperial Harbor up and running. Let's get the Clothier upgraded. Let's get the Kelns going. Fire them up, and then a weaving house. And yes, we will replace some of the stuff here with military structures eventually, but for now we need as much money as we can possibly make. Alright, I'm almost tempted to delete the barracks here as well. Ooh, Champion ain't bad. Myrmidia's Blessing. Oh, wow. Okay, well, even though this isn't a great trait, we need to get a couple of Myrmidia's Blessing guys. Well, I guess we don't need to do so right now, but we need to get a couple of them going for... Amber Trans. What was I saying? For our eventual Myrmidia army. It'll be a bit, but we're getting there. Oh, we're getting closer to 3.5k, which is the Karoberg Confederation. We're going to have to be ready for the inevitable, insane public order losses from that as well. Anyway, we have no more money to do anything. I believe we have no Diplo to do. Ostermark wants a defensive alliance. They're basically dead, though. Drake is not going to be happy about that, but it'll be the extra 10% XP while they remain alive for the time that they remain alive, which is, by the looks of it, not too much longer. Oh, in fact, they're dead next turn. Their garrison has already been wiped out. Too bad we can't force a Confederate now. Well, whatever. All good, I suppose, at least while our Imperial authority remains smack dab in the center. We should be fixing up the north in decent time, or at least we're making decent time. Anyway, Tom, I wanted to build something here and upgrade the Clothier, but we can't afford it still, so we can't switch you out of the Council of Burgomeisters. And I guess the same thing is true of several of the other locations. All right, fine, fair enough. Whoa. Marienburg, you... Oh, I already switched you. Good, everything's good. Skip, and turn, make more money. Alright, what do we have here? Recruiting surplus? No, we can't afford it. We'll do War Fervor. I think we already got that before. Ooh, quest issued.
A great adventure beckons. Be wary, though, for while the potential rewards are great, so too are the perils.
Alrighty, Karl, Beastslayer quest. This is good. This is very good. In fact, this might be a great time to do it, because Karl's damaged. He could take Bokill, or transfer Bokill, and then immediately get some use out of the bonus control. Alright, before confederating. Do we get any additional allegiance or prestige out of this? Doesn't look like it. Alright, we'll give this a read before we fight it. What is this? Talabekland? Oh, no, let's bump up Nuln to 10. Allow expansion, because they'll be most likely... Well, I was originally saying Boris, but maybe we'll do Nuln after Karoberg. Allow expansion. And frankly, Nolna's pretty good. Ostermark is gone, unfortunately, but, well, we'll set up another Elector count there. Faction destroyed. Mission aborted. And battle eliminated a lord belonging to enemies of them. And, oh, the Gotrek and Felix battle's up and running. This one's a toughie. We will definitely need a full HP army to fight it. Mostly because Gotrek and Felix are annoying in the sense that it's that stupid escort quest battle. But I do want to get them on field a little bit earlier. I was very happy with the with the way Thorgrim's campaign turned out, because since we got them very early in the campaign, we were able to get them both up to rank 50. And since they're in Thorgrim's main stack, they also got a lot of fighting done. Though I don't think I'm going to put them in Karl's, because he's got enough to be, you know, getting on with. Anyway, you are going to wipe out Kazrak. Go for Delbers. Auto resolve. Yeah, just auto resolve. It's not worth our time. Alrighty, and then are we not even able to see what the fealty of these guys is here? Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I think we're actually going to occupy, because we nearly have this full province, and as soon as we confederate Karlberg, we probably will, assuming that we can grab Eldogsen, and then we'll give these back to their own electors. Oh, that's going to be annoying. We're going to have to wipe those guys out as well in the same way that we are wiping out Kazrak. Anyway, Delbers, let's upgrade the Herb Gatherers camp and move the heroes along. Speaking of heroes, these scouts.
Sir, at once, sir.
I guess finders would have also been appropriate. Actually, I'm now wondering, would it be faster to go cut across the land? Actually, it might be very slightly faster, but then we'd probably lose whatever we gain by having to embark again, so probably not then. Alright, fine. Well, then just keep going as you're going. Alright, let's check Diplo as soon as this guy's done moving. We also will want to get a tech thief up and running ASAP. Maybe not ASAP, but soon enough. You. Alright, we will go for a little alliance with you and whatever other faction. Oh, wait, I just realized something. You're occupying. I shouldn't have done that. I'd have to betray you later. You're holding Ostland territory. Alright, I'm gonna try to remember that. Dalabekland, you're willing to trade. Laborers of Jar are willing to trade as well. And they're a Cathan faction, but it looks like they'll be gone shortly, so it's probably not worth our time. Western provinces. Now, you I would like to trade with. Let's declare war on the Kazakh or the Usag. It doesn't really matter. They will never get to us, so these guys will be willing to trade for this. Frankly, we could do both. Just for the non-aggression pact. Well, I'll do the military access because it's easier. So.
Acceptable.
It's easier to get the non-aggression pact than it is the military access pact, generally speaking. Which is why. Alright, the rest of that looks good to me. Next up, well, okay, wait, we'll wait on the building. You guys. Do we take Bokiel, which should be auto-resolvable, but it'll damage our army, or do we pop into that Beast Slayer quest? I think we pop into the Beast Slayer quest. I know the episode's running along, but I'm having fun, damn it. Kasserhak has got me fired up because he gave us a good fight, so let's just do this right now. Why not? Let's give this a read. With a massive Norscan force en route to Nordland's shores, the Emperor must show that his reign is one of military strength, that none should doubt the power of the Emperor. He must drive the Norscan army back into the Sea of Claws, and... I guess if we take this, we would be able to get the Sigmar's noble sons on field, but we shouldn't need it. As I recall, it's not a difficult quest battle, and I guess we're going to, find out for sure in a second. Go. What do we have here? Pyrrhic victory, casualties, medium, and we don't know what reinforcements are coming. Guess we're about to find out. The coast of Nordland has been ravaged by Norse raiders, but no longer. Franz knows this is a test of his sovereignty, that the unconvinced electors will be watching and even hoping he fails. So he must face the Norsemen and be victorious. They will come in waves, like the very sea itself.
Hear me now, brave men, brave Reiklanders, hear me! The celestial wizards read the portents true. Norse raiders land on Nordland's shores. We have marched many miles, but there is no distance so great that I would not gladly march it to face this, our ultimate foe. I have refused the honor of wielding the blade of our forebears thus far. I was not worthy, but should we survive this day, should we drive the ruinous tribes back across the sea, then, with your blessing, I will pick up the Reikland RUNEFANG and use it to bleed our foes, to carve my way through Sigmar's enemies. Are you with me, men of the Empire? For when the Northmen come, they will attack hard, as their despicable gods demand. We must be ready to push them back, thrust them into the sea, in defense of the Empire!
Alrighty, here we go. Say what you want about Karl, but the man knows how to make a speech. Let's see whether it inspires the men into holding off the waves, as he said, of the Norskins. Anyway, the battle will start off with the enemy lord just charging towards us, the only guy in the enemy army, or one of the few guys in the enemy army, that has a horse. He's going to be by himself here, and Karl now has DEATHCLAW, which means he's got a very significant power-up. He can mince infantry, he can reposition, he's got more HP, and is generally so much more deadlier. More deadlier? So much deadlier. More deadly, whatever. Shut up. Anyway, he brings the enemy lord down with great ease. The enemy continue moving towards us. We'll get Gehenna's golden hounds in their way while the gunners begin gunning and the grenadiers begin grenading. I'm very eloquent today, as I am always. Anyway, the Norskins continue running towards our line, and will crash into Bruckner and a unit of swordsmen. They're kind of, or spears actually this time, kind of taking a place where Sigmar's sons would be. The regiment of renown, I mean. I don't imagine we'll actually be keeping them in Karl's army, because once again I'm probably disinclined to get the Emperor's finest skill, but we shall see. Anyway, Bruckner sees them off, and is acting as the Empire captain in this army until we have one. Plus, as I have said in Thorgrim's campaign, it seems like a pretty darn decent idea to put legendary heroes that you want to level up in your main stack right away, because it's going to allow them to level up a lot more than a secondary stack would. And then if you want, you can move them out later once they're significantly more leveled. We might do that with Gotrek and Felix for a little bit in Karl's army, but I'll think about it. Eventually, I'd like to put them in an army that has a significant dwarven contingent. I might also use the mod that allows us to increase the number of outpost units in this campaign as well. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure I will, because it's the Empire and it feels like it's a very appropriate faction to use auxiliaries from High Elves, Wood Elves, Dwarves, Cathians, and Bretonnians. And whoever else. Probably some Nehekarans as well, or Tomb Kings. Anyway, the first army is pretty much done for, or at the very least all their melee infantry are routing. There is still this annoying unit of Marauder horses running around, but it looks like we don't have the speed to quite catch them with our Reiksguard, unless they're willing to charge us and go into melee combat, which surprises me, but good for them. Especially considering Simplers are anti-large. I wasn't even expecting them to attack us, so I was going to turn these guys away to run down infantry, but then it looks like maybe the enemy... Sometimes the AI does this. As soon as you turn away from them, the unit notices, and then immediately charges you. I do tend to notice this with things like, with cab, with chariots, etc., etc. But anyway, obviously, once the Marauder Horsemen turned, the Zintlers and Reiksguard tore them apart very quickly. And in the meantime, more enemy units are arriving over on our right flank. I wonder if this unit was supposed to arrive during the fight, or was it waiting for us to defeat the first enemy wave? Probably doesn't matter over much, as this is a relatively small wave with 4 units of Marauders, and then I believe a unit of horses somewhere there as well. And between Gehenna's Golden Hounds and the fact that we've already repositioned our battle line, that should mean that this enemy unit is pretty screwed, or this little extra enemy army. There we go. Grenades knocking out the Norskins. Of course, even the Marauders are probably in a relatively loose formation. Or at least they are now. So it's not doing as much damage as it could, but, well, it's still doing plenty of damage. These guys are already up at 22, 23k. Alright, and the Marauders have arrived. We clash shield to shield, and once again, those Chaos Roids making them look so much bigger than the little Imperial swords and spears. But that's alright. As we send those Marauders packing relatively quick, and there we go, we got a few more units coming in, a unit of Hounds of Pestilence, and there's those Marauder horses, which we will attempt to give chase to with the Zinthler's Reiksguard, while the other one, together with Karl, tries to take care of those Hounds. Hounds of Pestilence and Hounds of Decay alike, not to be underestimated. Probably Chaos's best early game units. And that's probably across the various non-mono-god Chaos factions. Once again, it looks like the Marauder horses are willing to fight the Zinthler's Reiksguard in melee. I wonder why that is. Now, they should be running away, and the first army they started by running, but then after a time, after that one that turned, they, I guess, just decided that they'd rather fight in melee instead. Feels appropriate for Norskins to some degree, I suppose. Maybe the madness of Khorne overcame them. Khorne being the most popular of the Chaos Gods among the Norskins, after all. Anyway. Makes sense. And what with them being a warrior culture. Marauder horses are out, Hounds of Pestilence are out, but a new enemy army has arrived. And I decided to move our own army such that it would maintain its formation. This was a tremendous error on my part, because units don't move in... they don't take the shortest path to their new locations, essentially, which means that the units that were here and the units that were here need to crisscross like this to go back to the other side wherein the formation gets flipped. The big issue with this is, of course, that they all crisscrossed at the same time, and that means they all blobbed up in the center just as the enemy reinforcements arrived with a Chaos Sorcerer of Metal. And a huge gaffe on my part, and we're lucky that that's only a Searing Doom. But still, even with the one Searing Doom, he gets 218 kills and 25,000 damage. But what can you do? Alright, fortunately though, Karl will take revenge. He and DEATHCLAW have landed and will be able to tear that sorcerer to shreds in probably a couple of hits. He's already down to about half HP, and no amount of regular Marauders is going to make it too much easier for him to survive. Otherwise, the rest of the Norskins are moving in. We've got Gehenna's old Golden Hounds coming down. We've got more Norskins on the way together with the enemy Marauder Chieftain, though Karl has killed off the enemy Wizard, and it looks like he won't be getting another... there we go. Another spell out. Karl will turn to the other Marauder, though it looks like the enemy's chucking those lances, or spears rather, chucking the lances. Chucking those spears at Karl with the Marauder horses, and those... oh, wow, yeah, okay, that volley does like 15% of his HP in one volley. We would like to duel the enemy Lord. We're going to have to back off, or else we'll get killed by the enemy range. Or at the very least need to approach with our own range before we turn and fight the enemy Lord. Okay, mortars, maybe don't hit Karl in the back of the head. Alrighty, there we go. We backed off enough, or at least I hope. They seem to be still attempting to go after Karl, but now our range units will focus them. And the enemy Lord is in pretty bad shape and now debuffed by everything, basically. Alright, there we go. One last unit of Marauder infantry, one last unit of Marauder horses, and assuming that this is the final wave of Norskins, the battle will be ours. It did take a fair bit of damage. The enemy Lord is done, however. And it looks like the enemy army in its entirety will be done. There we are. They will shatter, and the battle is complete. Took a little bit of effort. Definitely have to watch out in terms of moving the formation in that manner in future battles. Should have just moved them without them being in formation. Or maybe moved like half of them. I'll think about it anyway. Alright, there we go. Not too bad at all. Definitely taking the quests in the early game. It makes them feel a lot tougher, as if we had a sort of army that wasn't mostly tier 1 and 2 troops. So this army would then be a lot easier. That damn Searing Doom, though, really screwed us over in the sort of a middle of that battle, though. I really wish there was a way to sort of flip the formation rather than having them sort of crisscross each other to get back in formation, just reverse themselves, essentially. Huh. I wonder if there's I'm gonna double check, but anyway, would have been nice. Anyway, Karl did very well, 36,000 damage, DEATHCLAW, of course, and knocked out a sorcerer and 2 enemy lords, and apparently killed a bunch of units while doing all that as well. You get pets, DEATHCLAW. You do good work. Anyway, lots of work from the wizard, lots of work from our elites. Pretty typical. Anyway, I think I'd love to heal, but at the same time, since we get the reward, we'll take the money. Alright, leadership on defending, and there we go. Casualty replenishment, immune to attrition on armies faction-wide. I guess this doesn't really help us in this particular situation. We do get Beast Slayer out of this. 50% physical resistance and weapon strength and melee. What does... Wait, I just out of curiosity. Beast Slayer is +5. Dragon Tooth gives you magical attacks and the... Honestly, Dragon Tooth is vastly superior to Beast Slayer, but I guess Beast Slayer is kind of pointless in the sense that it would immediately get replaced by Galbaraz in now 3 levels, so yeah, it feels like a rather pointless item, at least for Karl. Obviously, it's going to go to somebody else. Also, Bruckner, you took a surprising amount of damage. You have no way to heal ya, eh? Yeah, you'll definitely need some kind of heals on you, buddy. And unfortunately, since you have Stormlance occupying this slot, okay, maybe we can give you some armor. Do we even have any armor that we can give you? I don't particularly care for the Scroll of Lycos, so we can fuse that into a Channeling Staff, which is still pretty meh. I mean, the decreased cooldowns could be useful. Can't make use of any of these swords, enables magical attacks and causes fear and terror on the Shrieking Blade. That might still be of use to us, eventually. We'll see. Anyway, Bruckner, we'll start moving through. We are the... Well, no, wait, we'll get the Champion of Nuln first. Anyway, Channeling Staff will have Karl hit to Bokill, and therein we will heal with a bonus 25%. Auto-resolve. Enchanted Shield. Hey, we were looking for some armor, and... Oh. We'll heal more by taking it for ourselves. Don't bother returning it to Elector. They're already at a +10 with us, so it doesn't really matter right now, and, yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, they're at 10. Alrighty, and oh, speaking of them being at 10, this is the perfect time to confederate because we'll counteract at least 2 turns of the confederation and debuff with this. So Karlberg, you join us now. Electoral machinations, unify. Karlberg. Guilty of all electric counts -2, but it is what it is. Perform. And we still have the 1,000 remaining. Beautiful. Mirrormoors, Valley of Many Eyes, Dreckwald are ours. Make any faction join your confederation, plus 1,000 gold. And beautiful. I'll lose his outpost, but what can you do? Alrighty, on that happy note, I think this is probably... Ooh, you have a warrior priest? Very nice. I don't care for Bruiser, but this means most likely you have a building that can build warrior priests, and we can build hopefully a better one. Cooldown Faith's Bastion. That's Devastating Flanker for the entire army. It's quite interesting, though Karl gives Devastating Flanker already to... Wait. 1 second. I'm pretty sure that we could automatically get Devastating Flanker on all Reiksguard, do we not? Wait, which quest is this? Oh, that's Gotrek and Felix. Okay. Yeah, attribute Devastating Flanker for Reiksguard faction-wide, so it might not be needed in Karl's army. Still, it's all units. That's pretty good. For a loss of mass. I do like Holy Warrior as well. There's that Myrmidia's Blessing. Anyway, we'll figure this out next time. Oh, wow, you have a War Wagon and some Pistoliers. We can actually keep some of these units and transfer them to Dolfhertwigens, and frankly, maybe split off the two armies. Yes, good. This is perfect.
Work to do.
Alright, I'm pretty happy with that confederation, but there is a bit of admin to do with it, and we will save it for next episode, guys. So, calling it here. Next time, we will take advantage of our sort of momentum, move to take out the Bloodfeather before moving northward to take out the Corsairs of Spite, who would inevitably attack us. In fact, I'm surprised that they have not a second time as yet. Otherwise, we will ride out the Confederation as best we can after the 2 or 3 turns, after the 2 turns that we have it being counteracted by the casualty. Well, it's just called casualty replenishment. I keep looking at the title thinking casualty replenishment. That's not what I'm thinking of. By this thing. And then otherwise, probably start moving towards attacking the Skaven with one of our new armies here. Can't be having them sort of build up in the central regions around us. Nordland should more or less be saved, and I think the next episode will mostly be consisting of dealing with all of this, including the Dark Elves, which I'm excited to fight with Karl, and who knows, if he levels up to 20, we will similarly probably do his quest for Galmaraz. Anyway, stay tuned for more Karl. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes and the Saturday streak. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.